CeMAP exams are going to be remote only, and that's a problem that nobody's really talking about. So if you're studying for CeMAP right now, or you're thinking about studying for CeMAP, this is a massive update that you guys need to know about. From January the 13th next year, 2026, in-centre exams are being scrapped completely. LIBF have confirmed that all CeMAP exams are set to be taken remotely, online, from home, with what's called remote invigilation. And on paper, that might sound great. There's more flexibility when it comes to availability for your exams. There's no travel. You can do the exams in your pajamas, right? I get that. But as I've supported hundreds of students through this process, I'm here to tell you that unfortunately it might not be all sunshine and slippers, because there is a reality to remote exams that people just aren't aware of unless you've sat it or you've been through it a lot like I have. So here's what I've seen firsthand from students. First of all, technical failures happen, and unfortunately they happen more often than you'd think. Around 30% of the students that I work with on masterclasses have tech issues on the day, which means that they don't end up sitting their exam and they actually have to postpone it. Now that is not ideal. One way that you can mitigate this is to make sure you have done all of the tech prep beforehand, and I have a podcast episode dedicated entirely to this, which I will link in the notes below. Definitely check that out, because what you'll be able to do is mitigate all of the things that you can account for beforehand. That isn't everything, but it's most of the stuff. Other problems that you might have is if your Wi-Fi drops out, if you have systems like Zoom or Teams or Slack running in the background, they can very often cause problems, as can your firewall, dependent on which type of firewall that you have. If they occur, your exam generally just ends up being terminated, and dependent on the circumstances, you might not get a refund. So I really want to make sure everybody's really clear as to how to prepare for that. So definitely go and check out that podcast episode. The second problem that we have is the invigilation process is really strict. So you will be being watched the entire time through your webcam. They can see you, you can't see them. But it means if somebody was to walk into the room, if you look around too much, sometimes if you cover your face or you do this on your desk, that can be a problem. If a dog barks, your exam can be flagged and terminated. Very often your invigilator will send you a message first to say, please can you make sure you're not covering your face, or I can hear a noise in the background, can you explain what that is? But even so, it's an added stress on the day that people just really don't need when it comes to taking a high stress exam. And of course, the main problem is that busy homes or busy households aren't exam centres. Kids don't understand a do not disturb sign. Dogs also do not understand a do not disturb sign, and they can result in your exam being cancelled. And that is just not ideal. It generally means that people's stress levels when taking home exams are higher. If you're trying to focus on a question whilst worrying about whether or not you're going to get a package delivered and the dogs are going to kick off, that's problematic. So I really want to drive home the key point here, which is the last day that you can sit your CeMAP exam in a test centre is the 12th of January next year. But, and this is a really big but, you have to register for your exam before the 29th of September 2025 to be eligible for this change. That doesn't mean that you need to book your exam. It just means that you need to go onto the Walbrook Institute or LIBF's website, log into your logins there and pay for the exam. You then have 12 months to sit it, so you don't have to book your exam on the day. If you register after that date, you'll automatically be registered for the new exam, and those papers kick in as of the 10th of November, and you might miss the cutoff for an in-centre exam. So if you want the option to sit your exam in a proper test centre, or just don't want to deal with the chaos of an at-home exam, your time is running out. That's why I've created my 6 weeks to CeMAP course. It is specifically designed to help people get their qualification over the line before the changes hit, where you will get clear weekly study plans, on-demand video lessons, weekly drop-in from me so I can keep you accountable, as well as full WhatsApp access to me, and a guarantee that everything is aligned with the current CeMAP textbook, the current CeMAP exams. You do not have to do this alone, and you definitely don't have to do this with the chaos of the new systems. So if you are serious about getting CeMAP qualified in 2025, while the process is still pretty predictable, this is your moment.